Hi everyone, Mark Lichtenfeld, Chief Income Strategist with the Oxford Club. Welcome to State of the Market. You know, few things invoke more emotion in the markets these days than Bitcoin, especially with Bitcoin trading near record highs as I record this. Now the bulls think that the bears are geezers that don't understand the new digital world that we live in or the devaluation of the dollar. The bears believe the bulls are gullible neophytes who have jumped on a hot new trend and are eventually going to be burned. And like most things in life, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. My take on Bitcoin, I'm not a big believer in it long term, but I do think it is a very exciting trading vehicle. So first, my criticisms of Bitcoin. Believers in Bitcoin say that its value is as an alternative currency, but the problem is very, very few people or businesses actually use it as a currency. Now, to be fair, there are more businesses that are starting to accept Bitcoin than they have in the past, but still not many are really using it. And think about this, if you owe somebody $100 for goods and services, you're probably not going to pay them with $100 in Bitcoin because a few weeks from now, that $100 in Bitcoin could be worth $150. Now, if you're a business, you probably would prefer not to accept the Bitcoin because there is a chance that that Bitcoin will be worth substantially less. So unless you're going to sell the Bitcoin right away for cash, and most businesses do need to turn their sales or revenue into cash flow in order to pay for things like employee salaries and inventory and just keeping the lights on. So it certainly doesn't trade like a currency. It doesn't act like a currency. It trades like a speculative asset. So if your long-term thesis is that Bitcoin is a currency, but doesn't act like one, then what's your reason for holding it? Now, the other argument about Bitcoin is that its value comes from scarcity, and there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. But scarcity in and of itself, it doesn't really mean anything unless it is a thing of value. So a few years ago, I made these Lichten coins. There are only 5 in the world that exist. Now, if you want one, I'll sell it to you for 100 grand. They're scarce, but I only accept dollars. I don't accept Bitcoin. Okay. The bulls will tell me, I don't get it. It's different this time. It's a whole new world, blah, blah, blah. I have heard those arguments time and time again in my career. I heard it during the dot-com boom and bust when I had a front row seat living and working in San Francisco in the industry. I heard it in 2006, 7, and 8 when the real estate boom and bust, having, again, a front row seat, living and working in South Florida. And I'm hearing the same arguments again. Lastly, 20% of all Bitcoin is held in accounts or what are known as wallets that cannot be accessed because the user forgot their password. So how effective is a currency or a store of value if it is so difficult to access? If you lose your bank password or your Fidelity password, you can pretty much go into an office or call on the phone and figure out a way to prove you are who you say you are and get access to your money. It's not the case with Bitcoin. It can be very, very difficult to access your money. Last week, the New York Times published an article featuring several Bitcoin investors that had millions and millions of dollars in Bitcoins with no way to access it. Now, after saying all that, you may be surprised to know that I actually own some Bitcoin.
Oh my God!
A very small amount, but I did buy some when it was trading in the 6,000s. And for traders that want action, nothing has compared to Bitcoin in the past few months. I mean, my trade is up about 6 times what I paid for it. Now, how do you trade Bitcoin? Well, trying to trade it on the fundamentals is absurd. I mean, there are no fundamentals, as I pointed out. Trying to trade it on technicals may be possible, but to be honest, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. So what I've been looking at is sentiment. And when I bought my Bitcoin, the bears were laughing at the bulls, saying, I told you so. No one other than the diehards seemed interested in cryptocurrency anymore, and that's why I thought it was attractive. Today, it's kind of the opposite. It's all anyone is talking about. Now, that doesn't mean it can't go higher. It certainly can. Bubbles have a way of getting extended far past where you think it could go. So could Bitcoin go significantly higher? It certainly could. So here's what I suggest. If you want to own Bitcoin as a store of value or as a lottery ticket, buy a little bit, don't sink too much money into it, and hang on. Sometimes these kind of crazy investments do work out over the long run. If you want to trade it, have a system in place. Whatever it is, know why you're getting in and know when you're going to get out if things go wrong. Stick to your discipline and manage your risk. That's the most important thing in any kind of trading, and especially if you're trading Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin prices do swing wildly, so give yourself plenty of room to handle that volatility. All right, tell me why I'm wrong or right by leaving comments in the comment section below. And if you want more wealth and income building ideas, please click on the link below to sign up for my free e-letter, Wealthy Retirement. Thanks for watching State of the Market. I'm Mark Lichtenfeld. I'll see you next week.